Hello, dear friends. Freedom consists of being the master of your life, according to Plato. Opinion piece, special march, unstable month, powerful changes, cracks in the matrix. The movement starts. Let's start. Some messages from heaven are saying that this month of March is very special, just like next April will be. According to Mary Holder, March 2024 brings to the forefront of consciousness more calming frequencies that need cleansing, awakening, acceptance, release, and integration. The Northern Hemisphere is on the cusp of spring, and experiences are springing up. There is energy of newness, new life in the air, and there is also awareness that a deep purge is occurring. According to Keshe, March offers every opportunity for realignment, reactivation, and remembrance of the power and essence within. Enter a new level of consciousness while letting go of 3D attachments and beliefs. Let yourself go and feel the superior light envelop your being. Prepare for further expansion this month of March with new layers of activations, higher gifts, talents, and the emergence of your golden light of wisdom and creation through the diamond core at the center of the heart, moving into summer as a being just made. Much comes like a lion and will go like a lamb. It is characterized by being an unstable month from a meteorological point of view, with sayings that reflect its changing nature between cold and heat, winds and precipitation. Additionally, in some years like 2022, March has been one of the wettest months in decades in various regions. Next solar eclipse. On Monday, April 8th, 2024, the moon will pass directly in front of the sun for a total solar eclipse. More than 31 million people live within a route that crosses 13 US states. Millions more will travel to see the sun's ghostly corona, a sight that will change the lives of many who witness it. Will you be one of them? Cracks. March 2024 marks the beginning of more cracks in the three-dimensional matrix of illusions. March 2024 will further shake the foundations of 3D control erase. Much sows in the consciousness of humankind the possibilities that what people believe life was not as they were told. The cracks in the illusion of the 3D matrix will become more evident in March and April of this year. Illusions to which we continue to be exposed, and the thinking mind will not be able to make sense of the cognitive dissonance between what is happening and what is being revealed, and what your mind has been led to believe is true. This year will bring more changes and cracks in the fabric of the illusory 3D matrix, to also expose the mind's limited ability to cope with overwhelming stress and things that no longer make sense. The failed nature of the grand illusion will continue to crack the loyalty many have towards truths foreign to themselves and toward collusion with a distorted matrix and skewed reality. March and April mark the beginning of some powerful changes. More illusions will be exposed and more truths will emerge simultaneously. Each of you is called to witness the darkness and to enhance the living light as much as possible. The sensitive abilities of human beings are extensive, like the essence of soul itself, but recognizing the limitations of the three-dimensional mind will be a springboard for the activation of the omniscient awareness and guidance system of the heart. Each of you is called to drop the sandbags of a 3D density, and allow the shattering of illusions to bring the light, a of source into your life. The ascension changes coming in March and April are part of the grand divine design to restore truth, harmony, sovereignty, and abundance to this world. Spring. In 2024, spring in the Northern Hemisphere begins on March 20 with the spring equinox. During the day, the sun is located directly above the equator and the day and night last the same length, 12 hours each. For the Japanese, cherry blossom marks the beginning of spring. For us, the early blooming of the almond trees give us hope for the rest of the year. Spring is a time of creativity and has always inspired great artists. Spring represents the rebirth of nature, the flowering of plants, and the awakening of hibernating animals. It lasts until June 21st and brings with it a rise in temperature and longer days. The climatological spring began last March 1st, and it did so, leaving us with unusual images for this time: snowfall, cold and wind, crazy February, and a little bit of March. Spring is the awakening of the earth, and the winds of March are the dawn of the morning. May March be the beginning of good dreams and great achievements. There is no barrier, lock, or bolt that you can impose on the freedom of the mind. March is the month of expectation of things we don't know. The first day of spring marks the beginning of 6 months of uninterrupted light at the North Pole and 6 months of darkness at the South Pole. In the Southern Hemisphere, spring lasts from August to November. The reason there are seasons is due to the tilt of the Earth. Countries very close to the equator have a fairly constant and hot weather because they receive the same amount of sun throughout the year. The next artificial time change will arrive in Spain in the last week of March. This year, it will take place in the early hours of Saturday, March 30 to Sunday, March 31st, when at 2 o'clock it will be 3 o'clock. Supermoon. According to Lauren, we have a super new moon this weekend, Sunday, March 10th, in Pisces, a mystical and magic sign, prone to idealistic notions and melancholic philosophical reflections, etc. Melancholy may be more pronounced these days due to Jupiter-Neptune semi-square. Supermoons occur when Moon is close to the Earth in its orbit. The super new moon may not look as spectacular as a super full moon because we can't see it, but it can still be quite spectacular in its effects. Even more so with this new moon, where all the planets are clustered around a 4-planet Pisces stellium, including the Sun and Moon. A stellium is an astrological phenomenon that occurs when 3 or more planets are in the same zodiac sign or in the same astral house in the birth chart. We have 3 super new moons this year. The previous new moon on February 9th, the current new moon in Pisces on March 10th, and then a total solar eclipse on April 8th. Since the new moon in Leo 2023, most of these new moons have been in aspect to illuminate and surprise Uranus. This will end with the new moon in Taurus in May. This month's new moon in Pisces is sextile to Uranus, a weaker aspect than some of the others, and yet still an aspect of creative potential and growth. In this type of aspect, Uranus can open a door to revelation and innovation. The planet of innovation shows us a new and better ways of doing things. It can free us for ever better things to come, and it gives us permission to become comfortable with our own personal journey. Warm Moon. On March 21st, the supermoon of the month will take place with the full moon at its closest approach to the Earth. The full moon in March 2024, also known as the war moon, will be a special event marking the start of spring in the northern hemisphere and autumn in the southern hemisphere. The March full moon associated with renewal and cleansing is situated in the zodiac sign of Virgo. This event symbolizes a time to leave the past behind, celebrate love and friendship, as well as make way for new opportunities and beginnings. In some cultures, this full moon marks holidays such as the Holi festival in India. This astronomical phenomenon will occur on March 25th at 2 a.m., being the first full moon of spring. In addition, this full moon will be accompanied by a penumbral lunar eclipse in Libra, visible from Peru and other countries in the region, which represents a point of culmination and revelation in interpersonal relationships. A relevant astrological event for the year 2024 is the conjunction of Jupiter and Uranus in Taurus, which occurs every 14 years. This conjunction began in mid-February and will last until the end of May, promising great changes and revolutions. Additionally, this month is also highlighted by a conjunction between Venus and Saturn on March 21st, which adds significant energy. These astral events will mark a dynamic and transformative month for everyone, with cosmic influences that impact different aspects of people's lives and emotions. Breaking news. The world economy is in the process of redefining and recalculating the value of currencies. Pilot programs are underway to determine regulations on use and the quantity needed to level the playing field in trade between countries. Dutch MEP Rob Ross says the ruling class wants our farmers to disappear in the name of the weather. Elon Musk met with Donald Trump on March 3rd and said the groundwork is likely to be laid for something much worse than 9/11. A Pentagon report concluded that there is no evidence that the government has been covering up knowledge of extraterrestrial technology. Sure? A Swedish general claims that Ukraine is not capable of resolving the conflict militarily. China wets Europe's gunpowder and leaves it without projectiles for Ukraine. China wants to lead artificial intelligence, but there is one detail. It depends on technology from the West. Regulation from Beijing and a recessionary economy are not helping. The Tanzanian government tries to evict the Maasai people from their ancestral lands. Opinions. There is a war on free speech, and they will not be satisfied until it is completely eradicated. According to Michael Snyder, the freedom to say what we want is one of the most basic and fundamental rights of a free society. If we were not free to speak, it would only be a matter of time before all our other rights disappeared. So it should alarm us all that free speech is under attack like never before. Much of the population has become convinced that hate speech is a special kind of speech that does not deserve protection. Of course, in practice, hate speech ends up being any form of expression that you don't like. That's why hate speech laws are already always written so vaguely, because hate is a subjective emotion that's difficult to evaluate. The wealth sustainable is contaminated by the globalism of the rich. The extreme concentration of wealth, where a small percentage of the population accumulates a significant portion of their resources, has raised concern about how this situation can influence global politics and decisions that affect humankind as a whole. Economic inequality, exacerbated by factors such as the use of tax havens and lack of effective regulations, poses significant challenges to achieving equitable development. This reflects a perception that dominant economic and political interests are prioritizing global agendas that only benefit the privileged minority to the detriment of the general well-being of humankind. Buffner said, "There are some developments occurring that will remove some of the obstacles that have always been on the horizon for all of these planet innovative funds. Efforts are underway to remove some people and other institutions that have kept the doors closed. That's no guarantee, but nothing is. What is known today is that rifts are occurring in many facets of the old god, and new players are looking to put an end to the entire scenario. Gather your assets and prepare for some very effective changes when the final decrees come out. There will be no fanfare or signs of saying any of that. Only individual conscience will let you know that now is the right time to make a concerted effort to do the good will of the Father. Everyone will benefit when this is completed. Everyone will have amazing resources and freedoms that are far away now. It is tomorrow? No. What has been said is that the movement has begun. And that's all for today. Thanks a lot, dear friends.